Gonna get rolling in another minute or so. Start the countdown. Greetings, greetings, and thanks for joining. Greetings, greetings, greetings. I'm gonna send out the live, share it real quick, and we'll get going and have a great evening. Give me one sec. All right, perfect. So we got quite the discussion I want to have this evening. I want to do a little talking about faith. What is faith, right? I always find people saying things like, I lost my faith. And so when I hear that, I say, you never had faith. And people are like, well, what do you mean I never had faith? If you have faith, you can't lose it. Faith's not something that if you're walking down the street and you pull your phone out of your pocket, faith can fall out alongside, a napkin that came out of your pocket. So I just try to put that in perspective for people. And they struggle with it because I get it. The view is different, right? And there's different kinds of faith, right? Faith in the most basic sense is a burning desire, a belief, and a positive outcome. Unwavering faith. Exactly. I see you, brother Nick. It's unwavering faith that another person can't influence you to lose or to doubt, right? Some people struggle and they start doubting their beliefs. They start doubting what they want to happen, their intended outcome, right? And it's a problem. It's a problem. It's an internal struggle, right? I also hear this a lot. I'm not doing what I want to do. I'm not doing what I think my purpose is because there's not a lot of money in that. And there's so many biblical verses on, that right there in and of itself, right? So I think when people are mindful of what they're saying versus what they're believing, and are they in alignment, it's a powerful thing. They have some breakthroughs. They're like, wait a minute. Like, for example, Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all will be given unto you. So when we think about that, if I have faith in what God is guiding me to and through, then how can I not achieve the intended outcome that I want? Those that are just jumping in and joining me, thank you. Good evenings, greetings. Glad to have you here. And if you are seeking a kingdom, you're going to have unwavering faith because you know that you're going to be rewarded on the back end, right? There's other biblical verses about faith, and I could go on and on about faith, right? But I'll say this, you know, there's ways that we can ask for things and we can act on that the way that we've asked, right? Greetings, greetings. And one of those ways is, instead of asking, Lord, please allow me to have XYZ, start thanking the Lord. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you for the gift of another day. Thank you for bringing me my first son, right? When we start saying things like that, when we start praying that way, we are literally speaking into existence. But for some reason, people let doubt creep in, and doubt is just a negative vibration, right? Doubt is when you haven't prepared enough or when your belief is not strong enough. And doubt can allow you to be swayed, right? And if you're a faith believer, if you're following a good book, then the devil wants you to be swayed. The devil wants to pull you away and trick you, right? The Bible verse for asking the right way, right, is Matthew 21:22. And whatever you ask in prayer, you shall receive, and have faith that you will receive, right? And if you, I'll recite it this way. And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith, right? Capital I, capital F. Capital I, capital F. That's the caveat. If is so important because you must have the faith. You must have that belief, right? Here's what we do when things get challenging, we use that as an excuse to not have faith or to lose faith, as some people call it. Well, I lost my faith, and you never had faith. If you could lose faith because things get challenging, right? And I played college ball when I was younger, right? And I had some teammates that would just say when we were playing up against a big, D1A team, oh, we're going to lose this game. And I'm looking like, where's your faith in us and our ability, right? Greetings, Andrea. I see you. Thank you for joining. Where's the faith in our ability? We have to act on that faith, and that's the struggle for some people for whatever reason. And I think part of the reason is the conditioning, how you were conditioned, right? And going back to what I said earlier, people say this thing right here: I don't do what I want to do because there's not a lot of money in it. Thank you, Andrea. I don't do what I want to do because there's not a lot of money in it. Sometimes it sounds like this: I don't do that profession because there's no money in it. It's very general. There's no money in it. And there's money in it. I mean, Proverbs 14:23, in all labor there is profit, but the talk is only tendeth only to penury. What does penury mean? Penury means extreme poverty. So instead of acting on our vision, we're talking. And when we talk, we're wasting time. We're procrastinating. So there's biblical verses on procrastination, right? So part of what I do through coaching is connect these biblical principles to coaching, to life coaching, to business, to organizational leadership, to education, right? To furthering our knowledge and lifting people up. So they start having some faith in their own beliefs and their own intended outcome, you know, and people are struggling with it, right? As they say, the struggle is real, right? So, like I said, in all labor, there is profit. What's profit? Profit is financial gain, or it's also, financial gain or an advantage. So it depends what you're looking at profit for. So if you are, let's just say you're trying to start a nonprofit to support homelessness, right? And you're saying, well, there's not a lot of money in this and it's a nonprofit. Okay. So there is profit in your labor, but you have to do the labor for the right reasons. And some of that profit might be that advantage. It might be a tax credit. It might be business credit. It might be expanding your network. It might be you being recruited for another job while being allowed to maintain your nonprofit. But it depends on what we look at as profit. A lot of people hear profit and they immediately think rich, making money, high income, right? So we just have to be cognizant of what we're asking for and what we're receiving. And we also have to be in receiving mode, because what happens is when we're not in receiving mode, we actually block our blessing. And some people always, Dr. Lewis, why do you say block our blessing? Because sometimes we push away the things that can really lift us up. Sometimes we push away the people that are meant to be in our journey and in our path. And we block our blessing because we don't receive what that person has to give us. Here's a great example. And I talked about this recently. When we do a job just for a paycheck, how many of you are doing a job for a paycheck? Put a comment in the chat. Just for a paycheck. Okay. When you do a job just for a paycheck, and I get it, believe it or not, I was young before. When you do a job for a paycheck, you have this narrow focus of I'm here just for a paycheck. So when there's organizational management aspects going on, how you communicate, how you recruit, how you retain, you don't notice that because you're here for a paycheck. When there's opportunities for growth and expansion, not on your radar. You're not here for growth and expansion. You are here for a paycheck. And this is why I keep pushing this idea of when we're working just for a paycheck. When you can learn how to run the organization and replicate this and slash or make it better on your own, Your narrow focus is keeping you from that learning opportunity. When you can see how not to do things from an organizational leadership standpoint, again, that narrow focus of I'm here for a paycheck is keeping you away from that blessing, from that lesson learned. When you can learn how to file taxes as a business organization, how to cut checks and do payroll, you're missing those opportunities being there for a paycheck. Excuse me. Seven is nothing like espresso at 7:30 p.m. Good espresso at that, right? I won't give away my brand until they give me a sponsorship. No. So I just want to circle back to this idea of, having faith, right? And I talked about in all labor, there's profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. That's Proverbs 14:23. Greetings, greetings. Thank you for joining. And it's like if you plant a crop, you can actually get both definitions of profit. Remember, profit, financial gain, or an advantage. You can get profit from planting a crop and slash or financial gain on top of that, right? But we talked about what the word penury was: extreme poverty. Here's a dictionary definition of poverty: it's the state of being inferior in quality or insufficient in amount. So, for example, the poverty of her imagination. Here's what DrLewis says about poverty: poverty is a state of mind. I'm going to pause and go slow on that one. Poverty is a state of mind. And states of mind have conditions for their attainment. Yeah, following? A state of mind has conditions for attainment. So follow this analogy: a state of mind and a physical state, right? Like down bottom in the south, right? So here's what you can do with a state and a state of mind. You can travel there, you visit, you can live there, you move in, you unpack, you get comfy. You can move from there. So you got three options. And with poverty, we have some people, those people that have those stories: I was at my worst, I was at rock bottom. They visited poverty because they're speaking past tense. I was there, right? Now I'm a six-figure plus earner, whatever the case is, right? They visited poverty. They didn't live in poverty. They didn't want to live in that state of mind. They were just passing through. Some people get comfortable. And here's what happens with comfort: comfort is surrounded by limiting beliefs because those limiting beliefs keep you comfortable. Those limiting beliefs become your ceiling. You want to break through, nah, you're comfortable. You don't want to break through. So those limiting beliefs become your ceiling, keeping you in that state. What happens to people that are in a state of mind of poverty? Who do they hang out with? Put it in the comments. People that are in a state of mind of poverty hang out with who? There you go. Like-minded people, people in an equal place, equivalent place, right? And remember, I said it's a state of being inferior in quality or insufficient in amount. I didn't just talk about having low income, right? Never even said those words, but there you go, right? People on the same level. Who do millionaires hang out with? Who do millionaires hang out with? Other millionaires, right? If they want to level up, they hang out with billionaires, right? So people that are thriving hang out with thriving people. You ever see, and this is a harsh reality, what happens when people who are thriving hang out with people who are not thriving and have no visions of thriving anytime soon? You ever see when those two come together? I'll give you an example because, like I said, I played college ball, I coached college ball. When you get that star player, full scholarship, Everyone knows them. And that third string, fourth string player, or the person that's not on the team at all, bad reputation, but hangs out with the team, there you go. Trouble happens. Trouble happens. It's a recipe for disaster. And I often get this when we have these conversations, but Dr. Lewis, I need people to watch my kids. But Dr. Lewis, I need someone to watch my car. And this person pays my gas money. Just be mindful of the company you keep. Just be mindful of the bad company corrupts good behavior. Just be mindful of history. Think about previous celebrities or people that have merged those two groups that just aren't on the same wavelength of or of the same interests. Just think about what has happened historically. When we don't know our history, we are destined to repeat the mistakes of the past. That's why history is so important. Even more important about history, accurate history. Accurate history, right? Tap into it. Question things. Woo! Yep. Keller said it is true we are the average of 5 people we hang around. If you hang out with 5 poor people, you become number 6. Mm-hmm. So I didn't grow up playing football, but I earned a full scholarship. I didn't know the game. So I had to find like the best players that I had access to and just hang around them. If they were eating Wheaties, I was eating Wheaties too. If they ate oatmeal, I ate some oatmeal too, because that's what good athletes do. You guys eat this stuff? Okay. But then you also have to be disciplined, right? You gotta be disciplined. I remember I had a former roommate from college who actually transferred to our school from Texas. And I don't know if he was just wired differently. And I don't know if he was trying to make a statement, but the first day he came to the weight room with us, he drove his car and had a bunch of players with him. I had my car. And this dude got out drinking like one of those tall beers, like the 16 ounces or whatever, a pint or whatever. He drank the beer and went in the weight room. He probably don't want y'all to know this part of the story, but he was throwing up, like, and I mention that because the Bible also says, don't conform to the patterns of the world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So if everyone's, remember that you all consume TikTok, social media content, everyone's grabbing those small microphones, right? And then they're holding these little tiny little microphones. It looks like a tie clip. They're doing this. Yep, 10 reasons why you should stop drinking alcohol. I'll tell you in the next 30 seconds. They got this tiny little thing, right? So we can't conform to the patterns of the world, right? But what we can do is be transformed by the renewal of our mind while we're leveling up, while we're bettering ourselves, when we're helping other people, when we're lifting someone up that needs to be lifted up, right? And I demonstrate all the time. If you haven't seen any of my content, gratitude notes. Take a post-it note. Leave it on the door of someone in your family, your daughter, your son, your spouse, whoever. Leave them a note. Thank you for eating dinner with me last night. Thank you for our conversation. Thank you for taking a walk with me in the evening. Whatever it is, I promise you, they're going to look at that note and they're like, okay. And here's the thing, you just made that person smile. And when you smile, you get a dose of oxytocin. And when you smile at someone else and they smile back, like that exchange, you both get a free dose of oxytocin, which is a neurochemical, a feel good hormone, a love hormone, and the positive energy just takes over. Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want some of y'all that walk around mean mugging? Some of you that walk around with the resting, you know what face? I can't say it because I don't say bad words, but smile. I'm going to ask all of you a question right now. Have you smiled today? If you haven't, I want you to smile right now. Yeah, like Dr. Lewis crazy. He got me smiling at my phone screen. Yeah, be crazy then. Smile at your phone screen. I promise you, you will feel it. I promise you. Smile for 30 seconds. Now, who ain't got 30 seconds? Smile for 30. I guarantee you it will change your vibration. There you go. There you go. And then when we look at the fact that smiling is a choice, it's a conscious choice that we can make, right? Breathing's not a choice. And this one gets a little touchy, right? You ever notice when you go to the doctor and they say take a deep breath, how difficult it becomes? Because we don't normally just sit and take deep breaths. We don't normally just sit and go, so so when the doctor puts us on the spot and they got their little stethoscope, all right, take a deep breath in. And we're like, huh? How do you do that? Like, so that's there you go, right? So it gets a little tricky. But smiling, laughing, those are conscious choices that we can make all day long. And I get it. Some things bother us. That's where our emotional intelligence comes in. Knowing your triggers, your emotional intelligence, your social awareness, your social management, like knowing what you're going to do in response to being triggered. That keeps us out of trouble. hmm And sometimes people know your triggers. And guess what people do when they know your triggers? Put it in the chat. What are some things that people do once they know what bothers you? And if you got kids, put it in the chat. What do they do when they find out what bothers you? When you say don't do it, they do what? You say don't jump on that couch. You say don't jump on that couch. They think your couch is a trampoline park. Exactly. And we set ourselves up for that. They do what bothers you. We set ourselves up for that. And I talk about this a lot in my content. We share too much. We will go over to the children, and say, y'all know it make me real upset when y'all jump on this couch. As if the kids are going to say, okay, we're so sorry. We'll never jump on the couch again. We set ourselves up. Y'all remember when you first fell in love and you're calling that person and you couldn't reach them and you're like, what's going on? I know you see my number on the caller ID. Baby, when I call you and I can't reach you, it worries me. And what do they say? I'm sorry. Don't worry. Next time you call, I'm gonna answer right away, okay? And then you're like, okay, it's puppy love. So you just believe anything. You call tomorrow. I just told her when I call and I don't reach her, I get a little worried. Insecurity and another thing. That's a whole another live, right? But I'm just saying, when we know what our triggers are, sometimes we're naive. We think that other people don't realize what our triggers are. Or we think, well, let me just tell my mom what my triggers are. I just had an epiphany. Like epiphany. I had an epiphany. It rhymes with Tiffany. Uh, I had a moment of realization about myself, self-reflection. And I realized that when my mom don't say bye, it bothers me. So I'm gonna tell her because we want to tell all of our business, right? Hashtag TikTok telling, tell all of our business, and we call our mom. Ma, I just want to say, how you doing today, Ma? You know I love you, Mom. When I talk to you and you don't say bye and you just hang up, yeah, that hurt a little bit. And then your mom like, okay, I won't do it no more. You be like, okay, love you, Ma, bye, and your mom already hung up. So we just gotta be mindful. Let's not set ourselves up. What's the difference between revealing your triggers and appropriate communication? So, revealing your triggers is about disclosure. Like, how do you discern between the two? Yep. So, revealing your triggers is about disclosure. Sometimes, and part of it is because of our conditioning, we've been so conditioned that we have to tell everything. We have to tell someone something, right? So we get on that phone, everything's going well, and they're telling us their business. So we want to tell them ours, and they're telling us about their life coach. So we want to tell them about our life coach and what are some strategies we're using. And I'm realizing my triggers. And you know what? You told me your stuff. Let me tell you a few of my triggers. Because you would never use this against me, right? Like we're just so naive, and we just end up learning the hard way, right? I see it often. I see it often in tons of clients, especially clients with aging adult parents. That conflict, like, hey, I'm trying to have a positive relationship with my family, right? But there's certain things that I say that they weaponize and use against me. And so my first question would be, well, give me an example. And why do you feel the need to tell your parents that your wife left dishes in the sink? I don't know. I thought I could trust them. No, go talk to your wife about that. Go talk to your partner about what they're doing wrong, not your family. So to the heart of your question, Desi, what's the difference between revealing your triggers and appropriate communication? So when you reveal your triggers, you're being vulnerable, right? Just because you're having appropriate communication doesn't require a level of vulnerability. It requires a level of expectations that you're holding for the party you're communicating with, and for them, holding toward you two, right? Those standards of professionalism and appropriate expectations for communication. But as far as revealing your triggers, I mean, think of it this way: if you buried $1 million, you go tell people where you buried it while you're having appropriate communication, or would you be able to say, I can tell these people about my day, what color I'm going to dye my hair, the last day I cut my toenails, but I will not tell them where I buried that $1 million. Your triggers, that's your $1 million. That's your jackpot. You don't need to tell people about your triggers. And again, sometimes we fall in this trap. People are disclosing stuff to us, so we feel like it has to be reciprocated. So here's what I would say: have some, like, you almost want to have like a go bag. Have some stuff that you're ready to share that doesn't make you vulnerable, that can't be weaponized against you, right? Here's a great one, and it goes to the professional setting. A lot of people are talking about this idea of, so you have a profession and you have your HR department. Sometimes HR, they're real cool in there, right? You need your student loan form, your repayment, forgiveness, whatever filled out, they hook you up. You need to know how many sick days you have left, they hook you up. They are not your friends. They're still HR. Even when one of your friends has gotten a promotion and are now one of the new elite employees as HR, they are still not your friend. They are HR. I've had people throughout my career from HR reach out and they'll do the whole, hey, it's Monica talking to you. It's not Mrs. Smith. It's Monica talking to you right now. I'm like, okay, Monica, I'll play your little game. Um, but your title is still HR. So Monica from HR, who I usually call Mrs. Smith, just be mindful that you can't disclose certain things that are going to get you, that are going to be weaponized. And when I say weaponized, I mean used against you for someone else's benefit, someone else's gain. Some people do, like, wow, look, you using big words. I ain't reading that. No. Just to entice others to genuinely reveal things. Yes, yes, and we just have to be mindful. We got to be on high alert. And what that looks and feels like is like, okay, why are you being so nice to me? Why are you telling me all your personal stuff, even if it's fake news, right? There's a new one. I was talking to one of my clients recently, and they were saying fake traffic. I was like, "What is fake traffic?" They're like, when all the cars slow down, and then you finally get to the spot where they all slow down, and there's nothing there. Fake traffic. I was like, "Okay, gotcha. Okay." So people have these like fake disclosures of information just to reel you in, right? Sometimes people will agree with you just to reel you in. You're like, "Oh, I'm about to go walk my dog. I'm about to go walk my dog too," and then you find out they never had a dog before. But you just got to be mindful and on your P's and Q's, as some people say. And then you got to check that person like, hey, I know you ain't got no dog. I ain't never seen you walk no dog. And they're like, huh? I said that? There's that fake news, that fake disclosure. Look at you trying to have a fake connection so we could talk. Trying to have a fake connection so I tell my business. And it's crazy though, because I was raised in a way where my mom always told us, don't be telling all my business. We're in a era where telling, like, drama is like currency. Excuse me. Drama is like currency. So I could tell you some drama, you could tell me some drama, and we're like, cool, yeah. You got any more drama to share? Because I got one for you. Hmm. And even our parents do it. My dad, I love my dad, but when he ready to tell me some drama, he be like, Mel, I got one for you. I got one for you. I'm like, okay. Sometimes under my breath, I'm like, I don't know if I want to hear it. No, I mean, we ain't about to do no exchange. I will listen to you, but I'm not. If it starts getting me triggered, I'm going to go. I'm gonna do a fake phone call or something. Texting my, hey, call my phone, call me real quick. Yeah. So we touched on a lot. Just want to circle back. We touched on poverty being a state of mind. We touched on faith being unwavering. People in this idea of I lost my faith. You don't lose something you never had. You never had faith. Faith is unwavering. Faith is something you can't see, right? You don't see the air that you breathe, but you still breathe the air. Like I ring my own doorbell. Yep, you go on that app real quick, like someone's at my door. I gotta go. Sorry. Yep, you got listen, you just gotta be ready. And there's a saying, if you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready, right? There's biblical verses about that very idea of always being ready. One of them talks about how the Lord's Son cometh in an hour when you least expect it. The essence of it, if you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. Hmm. Yeah. So, and this is what DrLewis says, right? That's from the Bible. This is what DrLewis says. If you are applying for a job, don't wait until they call you. Hi, we're just calling to set up your interview. No, your interview outfit, your shoes, your accessories, your tie clip, your belt, your socks, all that stuff, your purse, whatever you're carrying, whatever you're going to bring, needs to be ready to go as soon as you click submit on your application. You need to be ready. Some of you all be so surprised, like, oh, they called me and they want me to come in for an interview. Y'all not even ready. Thank you, Desi. Y'all not even ready. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Mhm. Don't miss the opportunity. Don't miss the opportunity. And then there's some people that will work a full day and try to squeeze in the interview. And I'm telling people, listen, go clear your mind, take the time off. Or, oh no, my friend works in HR. I don't want to do that. Your friend may work in HR, but while they're working in HR, their role is HR. Their role is not your friend. Don't get that twisted. Be ready. Take care of you. Don't block your blessing. Don't miss your opportunity. And have faith in the intended outcome you want. Don't just go to the interview just to interview. Go to the interview with faith in the intended outcome of that being your job. I was talking actually earlier to a young man. Kid was about 9 years old, and the kid has aspirations. And I said to him, I said, start being a boss right now. And I'll say that to all of you. Anyone that aspires to own a business, be on top of a organization at some point, start being that boss right now. And I said to him, do you know any 9 year old bosses? And he said, no. And I said, I'll tell you why you don't. Here's why. Because a lot of people wait until someone tells them they're a boss or someone presents them a promotion and they're now a new elite employee to be that boss. Be that boss right now. So that way, when that position comes along, you're not only qualified, but you're ready. You've been ready for years. And you may have to do it. It may be something as simple as affirmations. What are your affirmations around you being a boss someday? What are your affirmations around you getting that master's degree? What are your affirmations around you living in that dream house, driving that dream car, living that dream life, choosing when you work, going on vacation multiple times in the season? What are your aspirations? And I'll talk about that a bit too. Some of us don't dream big enough. There we go. What are your simply Desi as a single person? This applies to future relationships too. Thank you for saying that. And thank you for being vulnerable. So here's what you got to think about. What does that dream relationship look like and feel like? What does that partnership look like and feel like? What are people saying? Like, look at this power couple walking in, right? I'm gonna hold the door for this power couple. How y'all doing tonight? Y'all enjoy your evening. What does it look like? Your family greeting you differently because they see that glow. Because you got that future relationship that has come into fruition and you're just killing it. You're just living life, right? I get this a lot. Some people would say, Dr. Lewis, I've been learning a lot, reflecting a lot, and I'm finally starting to live. And I'm like, let's do it soon, sooner rather than later, right? What are we waiting for? It starts with a vision. Tesla started with a vision. Some of y'all are like, nah, it started with scrap metal. No, it started with a vision. hmm Then that vision went on paper, and then scrap metal may have come into play. But it started up here with the vision. And we struggle as adults to use this for that vision. hmm We struggle as adults to visualize because we think imagination is for kids. Someone had told y'all wrong. Someone had told y'all wrong. And I can see why someone has told you all wrong, because someone that has a background in education like myself, and I taught young ones in preschool and in kindergarten. Yes, in those early grades, we talk about now use your imagination to create your own ending to this story. When we get up in like 10th grade, you don't hear the word imagination. We don't imagine you're on a deserted island. We don't do that in those grades. And so what that communicates is the imagination is no longer an appropriate faculty to use as we exit adolescence into adulthood. And then things that we don't use, we start to lose their capacity, right? And we have this untapped potential. I'll give you all this one. Albert Einstein used to sleep with a journal next to his bed to capture his dreams, looking for sources of ideas. Anyone that has consumed any of my content around goal setting, I talk to you about doing it at the appropriate times for a reason. It's part of a formula. It is part of a formula. But that formula is grounded in faith. There's not a goal book that I have, and I have tons. Like I always keep them with me. Um, there's not a goal that I've ever set that wasn't grounded in faith, right? So I encourage you all, have faith, unwavering faith. And if you keep saying I've lost my faith, then you got a bigger issue, and that's fine. Here's the thing: you got to put systems in place in your life, right? Some of you are great at that. Some of you have attempted it, and you've reflected and you've made some adjustments, and you're attempting it again, and maybe even again and again. Some of you don't have any systems in place in your life. So you hire a coach to work with you to create some structures and systems, because systems can be maintained. Systems are everlasting, good, solid systems, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why some people have psychologists, some people have therapists, right? Some people have social workers, some people have some sort of person that is this is a caveat because they may not be helping you form a system that should be helping you to form systems in your life. Because here's the thing: if they don't help you form systems and maintain those systems, you're going to be with that person for a long time until whatever the intended outcome is comes into fruition. If you form that system with that person is with you for a season. They can walk as a life coach. I walk the journey with my clients for as long as they need. There's no set duration. It's as long as they need. I help people form systems for as long as they need. Those systems might look like changing some habits, creating a strong, unbreakable self care routine, doing some things they truly love, right? Self care, self love, awareness, setting big goals, communicating. And as we talked about a little bit earlier, communicating appropriately, not over disclosing, how to navigate those conversations about what we disclose and don't disclose. Mhm. So I said a lot. So I'm gonna pause and just take a back seat for a moment. Anything that you all have, any pressing questions around any of the content we discussed throughout this live, anything that you want to ask, I just want to give you a moment. So I'm gonna just pause for a minute, have a little espresso. Nothing like espresso at 8 o'clock. Yeah, like what time you going to bed? Probably 8:45. This is some good espresso though. This is some good espresso. I can't release the name publicly until they give me a sponsorship. So I might do a video, some content, and just have the bag like for like like a quick 2 seconds and off camera so that company can see it. Yes. Yes. Well, listen, if there's nothing that you all, want to ask me pressing questions, I'm going to move to winding us down. I truly am grateful for this opportunity to engage with you, to borrow some of your time. I hope this information has been fun, engaging, and entertaining for you all. I hope it has helped to build your knowledge base. And if you need me to walk the journey with you, I got you. Mhm. Yep. And if you have any further questions, DM me right here in the TikTok space, or you could email me at DrLewis at CoachDrLewis.com. Let me see if I can type it into the chat. Sometimes TikTok doesn't let me. All right. Let me see if I can pin this. Hey, no, it won't let me pin it. Dr. Lewis at CoachDrLewis.com. No spaces. Reach out. Be glad to connect with you all and support your personal growth journey. And I say personal growth journey, right? I'm connecting with people on their professional growth journey as well, interview coaching, resume coaching, all that stuff that just helps to make you more well-rounded. Absolutely. Thank you. It's been truly a pleasure. It's been truly a pleasure to engage in this space and connect with all of you. Wish you a positive evening. And those of you that got the 9 to 5, keep working. Don't just do it for a paycheck, though. Take advantage of all the opportunities in that experience. Those of you that are working at 9 to 5, wishing you a positive, great rest of your work week. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. God bless you all. How about, I'm not sure. What do you mean positive vibes? Give me some specificity. You said 3 to 1? Listen, hey, I'm still wishing you a positive work week as well if you're working at 3 to 1. Right? And I'm sure you have some systems in place. Yep, I got you. It just took me a while. I just had to make a personal connection. I was like, my mom used to work like 11 to 7. So I think that's what positive vibes is talking about. Yep, still wishing you a positive work week as well. And I started to say something like, well, hopefully you could stay awake. And I didn't, simply because I know you have some systems in place to help you maintain that work schedule of 3 to 1. And you might actually enjoy it, right? It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. So you may actually enjoy it. You may actually want that, where some of your colleagues didn't, and that's why it was available. So, enjoy every moment. And as I close this tonight, I want you all to remember, each day is a gift. Each day is a gift, right? So be grateful for gifts that people give you, tangible gifts, but be grateful for the most gracious and grateful gift. The greatest gift you can receive from the Lord Almighty is a gift of another day. Now, you may not be able to do over what you messed up yesterday, right? But you get another day to live, to breathe, to connect, right? Greetings, greetings. Thank you for joining us tonight. Unfortunately, I'm winding us down. So tune in next time, follow me, and we'll connect. Have a good night, everyone.